Upon a time in a quiet village surrounded by thick woods and forgotten secrets, there lived a girl named Adora. She was beautiful not just in her face, but in her kindness, her laughter, and the way flowers seemed to bloom faster when she passed by. She had a best friend named Chinwe, who had grown up with her like a sister. They did everything together, fetch water, cook for the elders, and even shared secrets under the moonlight. But Chinwe had a secret she never shared: jealousy. As they grew older, the young men in the village began to admire Adora more and more. Chinwe would smile and pretend to be happy, but deep down she boiled with envy. Even the prince of the village, Obinna, who Chinwe loved in silence, had eyes only for Adora. One day, when the village was celebrating the festival of New Harvest, Obinna gave Adora a rare blue stone, a symbol of love and commitment. Chinwe's heart cracked that day. That night, as they walked home together, Chinwe led Adora through the forest, saying she knew a secret path where fireflies danced. Adora, trusting her friend, followed. They reached an old part of the forest, where the trees looked like they had faces and the winds whispered things only the dead could understand. Chinwe stopped at the edge of a deep, dark pit. "Adora," she whispered, her voice shaking, "I'm sorry." Before Adora could ask why, Chinwe pushed her in. Adora screamed as she fell. The world went dark. Chinwe looked into the pit with tears streaming down her face. "If I can't be happy, neither can you," she muttered and ran away. Adora woke up on cold, damp ground. Her body ached, her ankle was twisted. The walls of the pit were too high to climb, and no one came looking for her. Days passed. She grew weak from hunger. She screamed until her voice cracked. Then one night she gave up. But that night something stirred in the pit. A cold breeze brushed her face, though there was no wind. A soft voice whispered from the shadows, "You are not alone anymore." She looked up, heart pounding. From the wall of the pit a figure appeared, tall, pale, with long flowing white hair, and eyes that glowed like dying embers. It was neither man nor beast, neither dead nor alive. It was a spirit bound to the pit centuries ago. Ekueme, a forgotten prince cursed for choosing love over war. "I have watched you cry," he said softly. "I have felt your pain, and in your pain I have fallen in love." Adora was too weak to speak, but tears ran down her cheeks. Ekoebe gathered mist into food. He drew warmth from the earth to keep her body from freezing. He sang songs that healed her mind. Slowly, Adora grew stronger. Not enough to leave the pit, but enough to live. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months. In the deep pit, the two souls, one living, one cursed, found something deeper than pity. Adora, once scared of the spirit, now waited for his voice. She smiled when he sang. He touched her soul without ever touching her skin, but their love was not without danger. Each night, Ekueme grew fainter. Loving a human was draining the last of his essence. He was bound by rules. To love her fully meant he could never leave the pit again, not even in spirit form. "I don't care," he whispered one night, placing a ghostly hand near her face. "I would rather fade into nothing with you than spend eternity alone." But Adora had hope. She still believed someone from the village would come. She wanted revenge, not just survival. So one night, Ekueme did the unthinkable. He broke the rules of the dead. He carried Adora's spirit out of her body, took it to the village, and whispered into dreams. Chinwe woke up screaming that night. Everyone in the village heard her cry. Chinwe became haunted. She would see Adora in the mirror, hear her laughter in the wind. Her hair fell out, her skin turned gray. She confessed to the village what she did, begging for forgiveness, but it was too late. The villagers gathered and went into the forest, guided by Chinwe's madness. They found the pit and Adora still alive. They pulled her out, shocked that she had survived, but Adora was not the same. Her eyes held shadows. Her smile was no longer innocent. Ekueme, now too weak to appear, whispered only in her heart. Chinwe tried to run, but Dora said nothing. She simply looked at her, and Chinwe screamed until her voice broke. She died 3 days later with her face twisted in horror. No one could explain how. Adora never married. She never laughed the way she used to. At night, she would sit by the pit waiting. One evening, she walked into the pit again and never came out. The villagers say they hear 2 voices whispering in that part of the forest. One is a girl's soft laughter, the other a man's deep humming. They say the spirit and the girl are now one, bound in love, pain, and revenge. If you betray someone innocent and come near that pit, they might whisper your name next.